We're recording. Start whenever you're ready.
All right. Okay. Am I missing anything? No. No, I don't think so. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to Nella Cucina. Today we're going to be making some spooky Halloween donuts in the theme of Halloween, obviously. So we're going to be making some spider webs on some chocolate donuts. These donuts are super easy to make. They only take 10 minutes to prepare, 10 minutes to bake, and then the icing just takes a few minutes to bring together. You'll see how easy they are and how beautiful they come together. So before anything, I'm just going to show you a little bit of our ingredients for today. So today's ingredients we'll be using, we've got some flour, some cocoa, some sugar, buttermilk, which is great in quick breads. It adds a nice tang and it also helps to yield a really nice delicate flavor. We've got our salt, we've got some baking powder, baking soda. I like to add a little bit of espresso powder with this recipe, but this is totally optional if you're maybe with your kids. We've got a little bit of vegetable oil, which can also be substituted with coconut oil if you want. So lots of substitutions, no problem if you don't have something necessarily on here. We're using a donut pan today. We're gonna basically fill a piping bag. We'll pipe them right into this donut pan. It makes about 5 to 6 large or 11 to 12 small. So whether you wanna do minis or you wanna do large, totally up to you. So first thing that we wanna do, I'm gonna spray these guys down. Again, you could use coconut oil, you could use butter. I find veg oil is always great for a non-stick though, so I'm gonna use some Pam. We're just gonna spray these guys down. Boom. All right, now for the super easy part, making the donuts. Okay, I like to sift the ingredients together, especially with quick breads. It just makes it nice and light and fluffy. So we're gonna dump our flour in. I got some spooky treats on here, you know, just to make it extra spooky. Gonna add our cocoa in. And then we've got our salt. Boom. Our baking powder, baking soda. And our espresso. Oh, everything get in there. I don't want to miss anything. All right. Okay, so this part we'll put together first. And any chunks that don't want to go through, just force them through with your whisk, or you can use a spoon or a spatula. You just want to kind of push everything through there. Perfect. All right. Oh, a couple more. Boom. All right. So we're just going to mix that together. You can see that in there, nice and light and fluffy. Just bring that together. I like to use everything at room temperature, so everything's been sitting for a little bit. I've got my sugar and my egg that I'm gonna combine together here. Get out, there we go. Don't let my egg roll away. And we're just gonna whisk this till it's a little bit frothy, so grab my whisk back. You could totally do this in a mixer if you want, but really for this small amount, I find it's just not worth it to bring the KitchenAid out, you know? And I've already prepared a piping bag in a container. My little tip is don't cut the end off until you're ready to actually start piping the donuts, because if not, you'll put your ingredients in there and they're gonna just come right out the bottom. Mind you, this batter is a little bit thick, so it should stay together. We're really just looking for this to get slightly frothy, and then we'll start to add in our dry ingredients. And I'm also gonna add my oil in here once I get my froth. I wanna wait until I get that froth before adding any oil or buttermilk in here. Okay. You know, and if you need, you can always have your partner do the whisking, and then you can carry on with the rest if you're feeling a little lazy, but I'm working on my muscles today. Okay, beautiful. So that's nice and like just ever so slightly frothy and pale. All right, so now I can add my oil and my buttermilk. All right. I made my own buttermilk. I like to just buy whole milk because then I have many other purposes for it. But if you were frying chicken or something, just go for the buttermilk. Soak your chicken, be delicious. Gotta look at the camera, not you. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in my dry. Just gonna slowly kind of start adding that in. With quick breads, it's really important not to overwork it. So we just wanna bring it all together, and that's it. If you overwork it, you're gonna make the donuts really tough, so. Just enough to combine like this. Make sure you grab all the flour from the sides, and that's it. That's all we want to do. Okay, get rid of this, and I'll grab All right, so all I've done here is I've just taken a pitcher, I've put my pastry bag in it. It's gonna make it a little bit easier for me to get out. I'm gonna grab my spatula. Oh no, I left this over the heat. It's okay. All right. So we're just gonna take this right into here. And I have not cut the bottom on this yet. And you know, we went with a green pastry bag, also with the theme of Halloween. Really trying to keep it Halloween-y. Okay. All right. So now the super easy part. We're just gonna take this out. Try and force any of the chocolate down that you can. Another thing you can do is use like a palette knife and just kind of push everything down if you need to. Just wanna make sure we get it all down. And then I want to cut it wide enough at the end so that I'm going to be able to get a good amount out, whereas we're going to do the total opposite when we start to pipe the spider webs. We want a really thin tip at that point. So I'm just going to cut that guy off. Whenever you're using a pastry bag, really your bottom hand should be your guide and your top hand, oops, will be your pressure. So we're going to go right in here with these guys. And you only want to be about halfway with these. They do rise quite a bit. I know what you're thinking. It's a poop emoji, but I swear it's gonna be chocolatey goodness. All right, and if you have any left at the end, just go around and top them all up a little bit. It's really frothing that egg as well. That's gonna help fluff this mixture up to get the 6. If you get 5, it probably means that you could have used a little more fluffing with your egg. So again, if you want, you can use your palette knife to push everything down, or just use your hands, push it down a little more. Go and top those ones up that look like they could use a little bit more. It won't bake in these mounds, which is great. It'll all even itself out. So I'm just gonna grab my palette knife now to push everything down again. Okay. My oven is already preheated as well, which if you're following along in the recipe, you should already have that step done as well. You want to make sure these go right into a hot oven, because when you're working with quick breads, as soon as that baking soda and baking powder hits the liquid, it starts to be activated. So we want to make sure we get that right in. Okay, boom, these are going right in the oven. Check it out, looking good. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. Step 1,